Hey guys, Eden here. Konosuba is a very cool anime that I've been talking about quite a bit on this channel, especially as of recently. I genuinely think that Konosuba is one of my personal favorite anime that defines who I am as a person. I love the characters, the campfire songs, and slice-of-life endeavors in between it all. That being said, there are a lot of anime that have tried to capitalize off the runaway success that was Konosuba. Many stories that, for a multitude of reasons, share an undeniably large amount of similarities to Konosuba. So much so that you could argue some of them to be flat out knockoffs, or at the very least, argue that they are heavily inspired. And in this video, we are going to be taking a look at exactly that. The good, the bad, and the sexiest anime that are all similar to that of Konosuba. Once again, if this video hits 7,500 likes, I will make another video that is related to Konosuba. So please do me a favor and hit the funny like button. And while you're at it, it would be immensely appreciated if you could leave a comment as well. Feel free to tell me what your favorite part of Konosuba is, or any anime that you know of that also feels a little bit like a Konosuba knockoff. I would be very happy to hear what you guys think. But before we go any farther, I need to mention that this video is sponsored by Adam and Eve. They sell all sorts of essential items. Use discount code KOREWA for 50% off one item and free shipping in the US and Canada. 20% of their profits go to fighting the spread of HIV around the world, so that's pretty cool. It's for a good cause. Use the code, buy the items, and now on with the video. Oh yeah, baby. The first anime I want to talk about in this video is Princess Connect Redive. Animated by Cygames Pictures, airing in the spring season of 2020, this anime is without a doubt the best anime we will be talking about in this video. I actually originally watched this anime back in spring 2020, which is crazy to think that it's already been a year and a half since then. Holy shit, COVID, please go away. But when I first watched this anime, I really did not like it, if I'm being completely honest with you. It wasn't until recently that I started researching for this video that I actually fell in love with this anime, and my god, is there a lot to love. So first and foremost, let me explain the similarities between this anime and Konosuba, just to get the point across. Protagonist is resurrected, main setting in a small isekai town. There's a main cast of 3 girls and 1 guy. They form a guild and complete quests. It's primarily a comedy series that doesn't take any of the threats seriously. Oh, and did I forget to mention that they share the exact same fucking director? I mean, look at these segments in the OPs. The inspiration is undeniable in this situation. You can basically treat this as a Konosuba Season 3. It's just flooding to the brim with similarities and comparisons ready to be made. Except you shouldn't, because this anime can stand on its own 2 feet. And my god, is there a lot of feet in this anime. Where do I even begin? Just fucking wow. This anime looks very good. Immensely creative lighting effects, great character animation that amplifies the humor, sweeping orchestral tracks that lift you into the air, absolutely gorgeous Van Gogh levels of background art. This anime is so enjoyable to look at, infinitely aesthetically pleasing, little doses of mobile game personality splattered across. It's literally porn without any nudity because I came several times while watching. Okay, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here. But as much as I like Megumin, I've got to say that Princess Connect Redive absolutely takes the cake when it comes to the waifu game. And don't get me wrong, it's totally unfair to compare the waifus from a gacha game adaptation to a normal light novel adaptation. I understand that. One of those 2 mediums literally banks off of trying to make the characters as sexually attractive and likable as possible, and the other one is words on paper. It's like putting a Little League team up against a bunch of roided fucking pit bulls, okay? It's not gonna be pretty. But I truly would like to spotlight just how nice these character designs are. Kokoro is so goddamn cute. Kyaru is best girl. Pecorine is just so fucking funny looking at all times. And the countless side characters are looking very submissive and breedable. I might empty my entire wallet out and download the game right now, who knows? And I hate to out myself as a degenerate here, but Jesus Christ, are they catering to the armpit community? There's way too much armpit in this anime. It should be illegal. I couldn't focus on anything that was going on. Every time Kyaru raises her arms, I mean, I paint the walls in my room white, to say the very least. However, my immense attraction to Kyaru aside, she is my favorite character in the anime for a wide array of reasons. She just tends to accidentally be the punching bag a lot of the time, while simultaneously being an idiot, and while simultaneously being a cat, girl, maid, tsundere, milf in the making. Like, holy shit! shit, she's just checking off all my boxes. 2021 might be the year I fuck a cat. I don't know. We're going for big achievements here on the Corey Eden YouTube channel. Look, I've been talking about the beautiful visuals and character designs, but I would be doing a great disservice if I didn't talk about the most important thing in this anime, and that is the comedy, of course. This is primarily a comedy series, and I would argue that it's just as funny as Konosuba. In fact, I think the only reason I wouldn't rate this anime higher than Konosuba basically only comes down to nostalgia and personal connection. If you're a person who's impatient for Konosuba Season 3, this is exactly what you need to be spending your time on. This is what you are missing out on. And hey, if you end up liking the anime, you have what's basically an infinite catalog of hentai available. Why does every gacha game have so much fucking hentai? This is not okay. Please check out Princess Connect Redive. It's pretty fucking good, and you won't regret it. But if Princess Connect Redive is what you should be looking for, well, please allow me to talk about what you should be staying away from. Let me tell you what you need to file a fucking restraining order for. That's right. I'm talking about Combatants Will Be Dispatched, the light novel adaptation that shares the same animation studio and author as Konosuba, JC Staff, and Natsume Akatsuki. Once again, we're in an isekai situation with a cast of 4, never mind 5, but should you really count the girl in the wheelchair? Back when this anime was going to air back in spring of this year, I was one of the foolish young ones excited to see what would come from this anime. Being created by the same author as Konosuba, I was itching to have my Konosuba boner finally quenched. I mean, it had been over a year since the movie came out at this point, and man, was I fucking thirsty. I was parched. I needed water. I was craving hydration. I was craving saturation. And if Combatants Will Be Dispatched was supposed to quench my thirst, well, I guess you could say it was a bottle of Dasani. It was Dasani, that's right. My disappointment when it came to Combatants Will Be Dispatched was immeasurable. It's as if Natsume Akatsuki took every single aspect of what made Konosuba so amazing and so unique and just drained it of all of that character. There's so much generic fantasy garbage dialogue, generic setting after generic setting, and the inconsistent use of random gamer lingo is definitely not adding to the immersion like they think it is. All it's doing is making me mauled all over my keyboard. Some of the background art in this anime is so bad to the point where it doesn't even make any architectural sense in comparison to the characters. And there's multiple shots where in between cuts, the cute lolly's height just drastically changes, which is usually the sign of an incompetent art director or the studio just not being given nearly enough time to come together and fix these issues. Whatever the excuse is, I mean, it still looks like shit. But hey, don't get me wrong, I don't inherently hate anime that look bad. In fact, I would go as far as saying that Konosuba, in terms of visuals, for the most part is pretty mediocre, but it makes up for it in every other regard, especially in terms of humor. So allow me to explain one of the jokes in this anime. You guys are really gonna eat this one up. So there's these two characters. They're having a little bit of an argument, so they decide to have a fight. And instead of fighting, our main character grabs her boobs instead. What? Oh my god. You won't believe what happens next. She gets mad. And that's it. I think some of the character designs are okay. Like, this Chimera girl is really unique looking, but besides that, I can't say much. Entirely white dress, monochromatic blue girl design, monochromatic black armor design. There's just really no creativity here. I mean, at least they gave the lolly a shotgun. That's pretty cool. You can never go wrong with giving firearms to children. Trust me, I do it all the time. But besides that, I find it really hard to say anything positive about this anime. I, Corey Eden, would not recommend you watch this anime. And if you are one of the people who like this anime and are thinking I'm being a little bit too harsh with how I talk about it, well, then I recommend you start watching better anime, buddy. Here, I'll help you get started with the hero is overpowered but overly cautious. This anime is pretty decent, but in comparison to Combatants Will Be Dispatched, this might as well be a fucking masterpiece. This anime is also incredibly similar to Konosuba for a variety of reasons, but the biggest one is that our main female protagonist, Restarte, is basically the reincarnation of Aqua. Except in my personal opinion, I would go as far as saying as she is better than Aqua. I know, very controversial opinions here on the Corey Eden YouTube channel. Our protagonist, who goes by the name of Seiya, is also pretty good. I mean, he's no Kazuma, but he's still a pretty damn good MC. He's a well done break from the typical harem horn dog you typically get from these types of anime. Instead, the dude is fucking shredded, always working out, doesn't play video games. Weirdly enough, this is uncommon for anime. I could immediately tell, while obviously inspired from others in the genre, this anime was going to offer some genuinely unique things. And those unique things mainly being our two main characters, which are genuinely fucking good. I love their dynamic. Restarte is always having the funniest facial expressions, and Seiya is always committing genocide and burning down innocent civilian villages. Wait a second, what the fuck? But while it has an impressive level of expressiveness and well-done humor, at the end of the day, it still suffers from a lot of the problems that come with being a generic isekai anime, and these issues are much more apparent in this anime than in Konosuba. No matter how funny its highest points are, it's still just another power fantasy series that takes place in a generic world. If you like power fantasy series, then go ahead. It's just really not something I could personally find all that entertaining. It has battles with no stakes being taken seriously, incredibly generic enemies that lack any creativity, and once again a significantly weaker cast than what we saw in Konosuba or Princess Connect Redive. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty decent and there's a lot out there that is much worse than this series, but I still wouldn't recommend it to most people. It's just a pretty forgettable anime when looked at through a bigger picture perspective. What do you think about my opinions on these anime? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. Do you know who did let me know in the comments, however? My patrons over at patreon.com/CoreyWaeden.
Huge thanks to Capitan, Kona Can, Pursuant Puddle, Bread and Butter, Rum Brian, Danny the Boss, That Shadow Freddy, Duncan Nugget, Dusk Seraphim, Everly 2, Gamerboy Czar, Gaming with Amy, Gary Bird, Rashapa, Kamui Chiru, K-Moy, Marquise Harper, Megaton, Mental Penalty, MVDW, Praise the Nerf, Huggy420, Real Mystic, Chicken, Zin, Mirage, and all my other patrons on Patreon.com.